After 3 days recuperation at base camp, Peter Hillary returns to Camp 1, exhausted and unsure how he'll do over the next few days. Then, further up the mountain at Camp 2, in what appears to be a disturbing trend, the expedition's sound recordist has lost the crown on a tooth, exposing a nerve. If they can't temporarily replace the tooth and cap the nerve, he won't be able to continue to the summit. The increased respiratory rate at altitude and cold air will make every breath unbearable.
Okay, so I'm presuming that this is the outside.
Without formal training, Pete Athens is remarkably adept at expedition medicine.
I don't want to fuss with it too much.
Today, he plays dentist.
We're getting ready to try to re-cement it back together, and we're going to hope for the best. This is highly improvisational. All we're doing here is just mixing up a little bit of this. It's kind of an adhesive. It's almost like ready mix or something like that. You just want to get it to the right consistency before you pour.
And there's no bleeding or anything?
There's no bleeding. It looks pretty healthy, actually. Now, I'm just going to swab that with a mild antiseptic. It may not taste too good. Sorry if this is going to hurt. If you just want to just kind of press that up in there, I don't want to, I know that's sensitive. I don't want to hit it too hard. Bite down on that, just, you know, just very slowly and gently. If you can. Yeah. Oh, we're just going to use a little bit of this stuff in here. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go.
The cement only holds for a few hours.
Okay, perfect.
For Dave Ruddick, an experienced mountaineer whose dream has been to climb Everest, the expedition's over. He'll have to descend to base camp. Even the Sherpas aren't immune to the trials of Everest. The expedition's Sherpa climbing leader is having trouble walking.
It's a what do you call when you sit for a long time like this and suddenly you stand up and your feet get numb? Yeah, he feels pretty numb.
Ask him if this hurts.
He broke a crampon higher on the mountain, and the uneven terrain brought back the extreme pain of a previous injury.
Ask him to tell me if this hurts. Anything.
He feel like when you feel rock in your teeth?
Yeah.
Pretty
Riding.
similar. Yeah.
I think you have some inflammation, and it's probably from your boots, and you've been carrying heavy loads. So just rest this afternoon, and then we'll bandage you in the morning, and then you can go down.
He'll have to descend to the nearest hospital to get x-rays. For a climbing Sherpa who earns his living in the mountains, an injury like Nima Tashi's can be devastating for his family. Ang Norbu, who was in a climbing accident in 1971, is living proof. His Himalayan book, a record of all his work on past expeditions, offers an official account.
He's a good-natured fellow. It is a pleasure.
And it's a pleasure for us to recommend him highly for any kind of expedition. He was faithful and worked very hard. Alas, we lost 3 expedition members and 5 Sherpas. He was also very unlucky. He was frostbitten on both hands when we were escaping from Camp 4. Still, he didn't lose heart for the pain and frostbite, and he performed completely his duty. We give our thanks from the bottom of our hearts for his action, but regrettably, he had to lose 7 fingers. We're very sorry. December the 13th, 1971.
Because I lost my fingers to frostbite, I can't handle ropes well. So I had to stop climbing for money. I tend my family's yaks, which doesn't bring in as much money, but it helps.
My father died in an expedition, and the time I was 2 years old, very young. My sister was just born, and my aunt's husband died in Everest.
I don't care much for Everest after all that's happened to my family. When my son died, I helped my daughter with the grandchildren. They were very young, so I helped raise them like my own children.
That's why my brother now, he doesn't climb mountain because my mother don't like climbing. And also my husband. Yeah, that's why I chose a husband who don't climb mountain.
Today, my sons climb for money. I don't have any regrets because our family has no other business. Now, my youngest son is climbing on Everest with your expedition. I wish I didn't have to send him, but it's income for the family. We worry when our sons are on the mountain.
On Everest, the weather takes a turn for the worse. They'd planned to leave Camp 2 after a few days, but they're pinned down by the wind and can't move higher. Peter Hillary, now recovered and at Camp 2, watches climbers trying to reach Camp 3 on the Lhotse face.
What we've had here over the last 24 hours is jet stream winds just blasting over the summit of Everest. And you can see tents have been flattened and ripped all around the camp. And we've got collapsed tents everywhere.
Pete and Brent have been forced off their West Ridge route. The wind chill, poor visibility, and the possibility of losing camp pose the biggest danger. Some of the Sherpas have been standing for hours, pushing against the tent poles so they won't collapse. Others are outside, tying down reinforcements.
Everyone's got their backs to the walls of their tents and they're holding on. It's probably blowing at about 60 miles an hour out there. So according to the weather reports that we have, this is supposed to go on for about another day and a half at least. Probably more like double this on the summit.
The windstorm dies as quickly as it had arrived. For the Sherpas, it is a clear warning from the mountain deity that it's time to retreat off Everest, back to base camp to rest, before trying to go higher.
We Sherpas believe that mountains are the places where the gods live, and most of the mountains for us are sacred. Especially Mount Everest, which we call Chomolungma, which means the mother goddess of the world. The deity that resides on Everest is Myo Langsangma, and she protects the Everest region. You are in her hands. You keep a pure thought and you work hard, and she will protect you. But if you start to be arrogant and disrespectful, then I think your turn will come too.
The entire team descends to base camp for a short rest. After a month of working hard to acclimatize, they think they're ready for the summit.